Happy Tuesday!
Happy Tea Tuesday!
Yes, today we have a lot of tea. It's not piping hot, it's not spilling, but we have a lot of small sips of tea. Are you guys ready?
We're going to start off with some cheese and crackers where we follow up on previous episodes, a little update on what's going on. First, from our last episode, we talked about the Free Britney movement. So, Jamie Lynn has broken her silence. She had a video, I believe it was on Instagram. I believe it was on Instagram. And she was basically saying she supports her sister and her happiness, and she supported her in private, not in public. And I think this is a reaction because people were just like hating on Jamie Lynn, her sister, because isn't her dad also named Jamie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think this is just a direct response because people were just like at her. Yeah, and she said that she even told her sister to get a new legal team. And I'm seeing very mixed reviews about Jamie Lynn's response. I mean, I don't know. I was trying to dissect it. I feel like I've never seen an interview with Jamie Lynn, so I don't know how she speaks. But one thing that I did not like in her video was she like acted as if a tear was coming down her face and she was wiping a tear, but there was no tears. There was no like sign of like it was dry. But did you see the interview or her response?
I didn't see it, and the term you want to use is alligator tears, where it's like, oh, they're like patting away a tear, but there's no drop, no liquid. And the response that I've been seeing from Jamie Lynn, someone has done the research and they looked into Britney's estate records, and they see that Britney's money from her personal estate has been given to Jamie Lynn. And someone was talking about Jamie how like you haven't worked since Zoe 101, but you drive a Tesla. So I feel like Jamie is one of those people who are benefiting from it because, like, listen, if you were really fighting for your sister, I don't know, I just feel like it would be more obvious, and I feel like the dad would try to, like, control Jamie as well. And I feel like Jamie is a little bit interesting because supposedly conspiracy theory is that she got pregnant by Dan Schneider, the director of Nickelodeon's show, the creepy guy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Jamie has some trauma and some secrets of her own. But do I see her as someone who's really supporting her sister? I wouldn't think so. Because I feel like Britney is smart enough to be like, yeah, I want to sue everyone but my sister. Or I feel like she would blatantly say who's really been there for her. But Britney said in the leaked audio that she wants to sue her entire family.
At first I was like, okay, so she supports her sister. I understand the whole private versus public thing. Like some people just want to be private. I mean, she has been pretty private, not in the spotlight. But it was that alleged tear, dude. That got me. That's where I was like, something's fishy here. So if she is benefiting from this, I could see why she stayed quiet.
Yes, and I feel like as this court date let up, I feel like she would have been hinting or she would have been tweeting subliminals, like something to support her sister in a way, but not like blatantly calling out her dad. And I read somewhere that she had spent like $76,000 of Britney's money in like 4 to 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, money really changes people, and listen, like money changes family. So I'm not on Jamie's side. I do not believe her.
Well, people who are on Britney Spears' side, we had some support from Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, Wendy Williams. There's actually like a lot of celebrities that were just posting about Free Britney and showing their support. And the ones that stood out to me were Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake, just because they did grow up with her on the Mickey Mouse Club house, whatever.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Justin Timberlake did it, but I think he's trying to save his reputation because he does have a little bit of a problematic past when it comes to Britney. I feel like he definitely used Britney for her fame as well. But I mean, good for him that he's showing support, and I love that Tina was showing support because it just like kind of brings back the era of like the 90s and the early 2000s.
Hmm.
But yesterday I really got to hear the entire like the leaked audio and stuff. And from the way that I was hearing it, I was like, I feel like Britney is composed enough to know what's going on, and it's just so sickening that her therapists were prescribing her medications that she didn't need, and the fact that she felt drunk. I was like, oh my god, it's sick. Like the dad needs to go to jail.
Yeah, but I was like also reading that a lot of other I don't know if they were therapists, but people who are in the medical field were saying like this is not new for a conservatorship because all the responsibilities do go to the person who is in charge, which is her dad. So he does call the shots. But I don't know, like there's just too many red flags here. And for her to I mean, yeah, I mean everyone, well not everyone, but what we've talked about and the things that you hear online, like these are like crossing the line.
And my heart broke when she was like, I want to have a baby. I want to be able to go to Maui. And the fact that she wasn't able to spend all the time that she wanted with her own kids, like, it's just, ugh, it's so twisted. Like,
Free Britney.
yeah. Okay. So now we're going to go into some lighter stuff.
Yes.
Small steps. I feel like that today's episode is just a little bit of everything. So the first thing I want to start off with is Cardi B is pregnant. Like I had a feeling at the Grammys because she looked like she was showing, but just a little bit. And then at the BET Awards this past Sunday, she showed off her belly and she was still a great performer. Like she was still dancing and stuff and she was wearing high heels. I was like, I loved it. I love how she announced it to the world.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch the BET Awards like fully because I don't have cable. But I did watch Megan Thee Stallion's performance and it was so good. I was like, oh my God, I might have to go see her live. Like it made me want to go.
I mean, you mentioned Cardi B performing, and I didn't watch it either, but I remember Cardi B performing. I think it was Coachella, pregnant, and when I was watching that like live feed, I was like, "Dang, that girl can get it!" And she's like has a belly popping out of her, like, oh my God, I love her enthusiasm.
Yes, I think after that she was on the Ellen show. Maybe she had given birth at that point already. And Ellen was like, "You were performing when you were pregnant," and Cardi B is just so like herself. She's like, "Yeah, I was just trying to show everyone how I got pregnant." So at the BET Awards, before the show started, they do all those red carpet interviews, and Lil Kim was interviewed, and one of her questions was, "Does she want a versus battle with anyone?" She said yes, and the interviewer said, "With who?" And she only said one word. She said Nicki. And I don't know if you know, but Lil Kim and Nicki did have like a little bit of a beef before. So I'm just wondering, like, oh my God, I wonder if they would come together and do this. I don't know if Nicki would do it because it seems, I don't know, not too much exposure. And I feel like Nicki is really talented and she would want a lot of people to see her. And usually the verses is on IG Live. But yeah, it's crazy because they're both from different eras. And I feel like they're both earned the title of queen in their own respective terms. So it's just like this is really interesting. It's like two eras going against each other, and it's just like the fans are different too. And there's fans who are fans of both of them. So I feel like that was just an interesting moment.
I didn't know they had drama with each other. Do you know what it was? Was it about like titles and stuff?
Yeah, so part of it was like the whole thing was like I'm like, who started this? Like queen of rap, queen of pop, like who started this? Because this competition between women is just not it. But yeah, so there was like competition between like who's the queen of rap, who's the best female rapper, and also I don't know if the video is still up on YouTube, but if this person did a lot of research and they compared a lot of like Nicki's rap, and it's almost like plagiarism to Lil Kim's raps. So a lot of people don't know that because like I feel like to the general public, female rappers aren't like that big. So when Nicki came out, I feel like a lot of people didn't catch that she copied some of Lil Kim's words and phrases and lyrics. So yeah. So there was that beef and of course them being pitted against each other and supposedly like they had resolved it. But I think the versus battle, I hope that it's in like lighthearted goodness, like friendly competition, but nothing like to re-instigate that beef.
Yeah, because when you mentioned verses, I was like, I've never seen it before, so I went to go and watch a few. They look really respectful, you know? And like, I mean, of course, there's like that little like beef going on, like going back and forth from songs, but it's like very fun and playful. And by the end of it, like, it's just all good fun. So, I mean, I think that could be cool if that is what she wants from it, you know? And as Nicki as well. But I saw people going on Twitter like, who would win? So, who do you think would win?
Okay, I feel like I'm a little bit biased because I come from the era of Nicki Minaj, and so I feel like I would know a lot of her songs and like the rap she would do, and I feel like Nicki is a good performer. And I haven't watched too much of Lil Kim, so I feel like I'm being biased. I'm gonna say Nicki, but that's actually a versus I'm willing to watch. A lot of them I'm like, okay, I'll wait until it uploads on YouTube. Like I won't see it live, but if they really go live on Instagram, like I will watch it for sure live.
Hmm. I agree. I feel like I definitely know more Nicki songs, so I'd probably be her side. But at the same time, like Lil Kim has some like hits that I'd be like, oh shoot, like like it's nostalgic and stuff. Yeah, that would be fun if good-hearted.
Yes. Yes. So that's interesting. I would definitely like stop everything I'm doing that Sunday night and watch it.
Also at the BET Awards, the only really big headline that I saw, Lil Nas kisses dancer. I mean, wasn't that crazy? I mean, it was a pretty steamy kiss, though, I have to admit. But
I didn't see the kiss. I only saw photos, so I don't know how intense the kiss was. But I think if we are just going to be like blunt, like I feel like our society is not that progressive yet. And I feel like there's a lot of people who don't like that kind of stuff. And I think there's a double standard because if it was just like a regular singer kissing like the opposite sex, people would love it. Like people would start doing hashtags like, I hope they're dating, I hope they get married. But I think because it's Lil Nas X and he's very open about his sexuality, I think there's just a lot of unnecessary hate. And it's just like, come on, you guys. Like, it was going to happen eventually. Either he was going to do it or someone else was going to do it. Like, it was going to happen. A guy
yeah,
is
him being like creating headlines as he does, like it's no surprise to me. And it just reminded me how when Britney and Madonna kissed, which I could see that was making headlines, especially at the time, two big name females kissing on stage. That was crazy. Oh no, but Madonna also kissed Christina Aguilera, but that wasn't as big. But yeah, I didn't think anything was crazy, but I kept seeing that as a headline for Lil Nas, so I thought that was interesting.
I'm just now realizing, like, how much fun it would be working on the marketing team for Lil Nas X. He knows how to get on the headlines. He knows how to create controversy. He knows how to market himself, and he knows how to stay relevant. And I feel like the way that he gets in there, it's like kind of controversial, but then kind of not because it shouldn't be. But I think with the times he's really like pushing us to be more progressive and people to be more accepting. So I'm like, oh my god, like I think it would be a great day just to work on his team.
I imagine it's just like a room and they're like, all right, what are your ideas? Anything goes.
Exactly. Okay. So, speaking of the BET Awards, speaking of female rappers, my next topic is Saweetie. So, recently she went on, I think, Nick Cannon's like radio show, and she said something along the lines of that pretty privilege has worked against her. And one of the YouTubers I follow, she is like kind of like a blogger, and her channel is called Impressive, and I've been watching her for like at least 2 years. And in the comments, people were saying like that Saweetie does benefit from pretty privilege and that she shouldn't complain about it. And it's really interesting to me that she said that it's worked against her because I feel like she kind of boasts pretty privilege. And here's the thing with Saweetie, like I feel like she interviews very well. She knows how to market herself. Like she's extremely beautiful, and I feel like sometimes she seems more like an influencer than a rapper. But I feel like this day and age with social media, it's different. Like I feel like you have to have a large social media following and know what to do on it to maintain that relevance. And I think pretty privilege, it's like I don't think it's worked against her. And if we're gonna be honest and realistic, like half the time celebrities get to where they are because of their looks. And I feel like with Saweetie, she's not like the biggest like and the best rapper, but I feel like with her looks, it doesn't hurt that she looks the way she looks. So it's interesting to me that she thinks it worked against her when I feel like it's helped her so much.
She's beautiful. Like I don't know where that comment came from.
Actually, it's been said that Saweetie benefits from pretty privilege, and also like she has a what's it called, like a mixtape called Pretty Bitch Music. She's always talking about how she's pretty and like she knows that she looks good. And also at the same time in interviews, she said like, "Oh, being pretty is not about how you look. It's about like an aura and the energy you give off," which I understand and do relate to. And I feel like, okay, that's cool. But I feel like because her performance at I think Jake Paul's fight was lackluster. Like she was lip syncing the whole time, and
Mm.
then she was saying like, "Oh, I'm tired, but I have one more song for you guys." And people were like, "But you were lip syncing the whole time. You weren't really rapping." And Doja did the best friend part, and she was really good. And I think like as a performer, like she really needs to work on her craft. But I think because she's pretty, like people continue to follow her. She continues to have a platform. So I think she has it all wrong. I think her pretty privilege has held open so many doors for her. I feel like if she wasn't pretty, would Quavo date her?
And like her to be in the position she is, like you mentioned, you have to have some kind of, what's it called? You know, like eye candy to you, where all these guys want to date you, all these girls want to be you. I mean, that's what celebrity is.
Another interesting thing about Saweetie is that when she got so much hate for her not so good performance when she was like lip syncing and stuff. One thing I like about her is that she never really addresses the hate. She never goes on like Instagram live or posts a story. It's like, all you haters, blah 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 blah, like this, like this. She never really confronts the headlines. So I'm like, okay, I feel like she's smart, but she has so much more potential, and I feel like her lyric system needs to improve a lot because I don't know. I feel like there's a reason why no one's comparing her to Nicki. Like,
Well, I mean, this might be like a weird look on it, but maybe she needs a little drama in her life. I feel like a lot of like these, especially artists, a lot you get a lot of eyes or ears listening to you when there's a little drama in your life. I don't know. This is maybe speaking from like a PR perspective. Like maybe you should get into a little something with someone.
oh, that's
I don't
true.
know.
Like how even any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hear that's kind of like a dead phrase, but in this case, I think it might be helpful.
Yeah, I think it definitely brings up a good conversation, and especially within the community, it's like they talk about colorism and how Saweetie is light skinned, and that's like a whole nother topic, a whole nother video. It's very interesting. I don't know. I think like when celebrities just make a statement, it's like, here I go, bring up the Kardashians. They're trying to like say that a lot of their success is based off of their hard work, which I don't deny that the Kardashians and Saweetie, they do a lot of hard work, but you can't deny that they have privileges that kind of like bump them up a bit and help them out.
Oh, hell yeah.
So my segue is this YouTuber needs a lot of help. And I feel like lately everything I've been seeing about her, she just seems to be digging herself into a horrible grave, and she needs a really, really good PR team because she's so problematic. And who is the YouTuber I'm talking about, Melissa?
Miss Gabby Hanna. I follow the YouTube news. I like love their drama and I can't get enough of like listening, keeping up with it. And but I feel like I just don't want to talk about Gabby Hanna just because she's been problematic. But it's just she's gonna come up. There's so much drama with her that we just have to discuss. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of different stories going on. So she has issues with her ex friend, Miss Jessie Smiles. That's like another case there. She has another drama with Trisha Paytas, which is just back and forth with her. But I think they're just two. I think they're honestly very similar, and that is why there is no. I just think there's no right or wrong. They're just going back and forth. And then she has drama with Escape the Night, which is a YouTube TV show that she was on, and she put up a video on YouTube saying "Escape the Nightmare," and basically like tearing down what the show is and giving them a bad review, and then everyone that was on that show is now like fighting against her. So where do we start?
Well, let's see. Gabby Hanna, she started off as just this regular vlogger, and I actually watched a few of her videos, like I think her workout videos, when she got what's it called, like a non-surgical rhinoplasty. And like, okay, this girl is quirky, she has a loud personality, but she didn't seem too arrogant to me, so I continued to watch her. And then I hear the drama about her and her ex-best friend and the leaked audio. I'm like, oh my god, she is just another prime example when the fame and the money get to your head and you just feel like you have power. And I feel like that leaked phone call told me everything about her that I need to know, because essentially she was trying to save her own face instead of being there for her friend who went through a very traumatic experience. So I was like, I'm not subscribing to Gabi Hanna. I'm not listening to her music. I will never read an apology tweet from her or watch an apology video. Like I refuse to give her my YouTube time.
For those who don't know, I mean, if you want to keep up with that drama, so Jesse Smiles was dating, I forgot what the guy's name. He was another, like, it was a Viner. It was Vine days. And it seemed that Gabby seemed to have supported him when he, I don't know if it's still an alleged rape. I don't know. I don't know quite the details, but Gabby went on his side, but then she said she was on Jesse's side. Audio came out with phone calls between Jesse and Gabby came out, and Gabby saying like she was trying to defend her, but then Jesse's like, no, like, why are you even talking to him? And then the public was just going at Gabby, saying she's a rape apologist.
So she was kind of like defending him, which I think is just so gross, because like why would you not defend your best friend? And it's just like, I don't know, Gabby Hanna's giving me off the vibe of like, I'm a a guy's girl, like I hang with the bros type of thing, but also I don't know, maybe she wanted to date him at some point. Like I feel like Gabby Hanna, it gives me like that jealous friend energy, and I feel like if that thing hadn't happened, like I feel like in a way she would try to get with her best friend's ex-boyfriend.
I definitely get like that whole she wants to be a bro, like she's one of the bros and stuff. Like I feel like she just felt that it was cool or something to do. And then when with all this going on, then we had Trisha Paytas retweeting all these tweets about Gabby Hanna, and like they started going back and forth, and it's weird. I don't know if you saw the Gabby Hanna videos about this, but she was like starting to post like between Gabby Hanna and Trisha Paytas. I guess their drama is that Gabby Hanna was telling Trisha Paytas, "We used to be friends. Like, you used to hit me up all the time. You invited me to your parties." And Trisha Paytas was like, "I don't even know who you are. Like, I met you twice. We're not friends." And then Gabby put out a video with receipts showing that her and Trisha Paytas did have conversations. And then Trisha Paytas is like, "I'm scared for my life. If someone's gonna kill me, it's gonna be Gabby Hanna." And then Gabby Hanna was like, "I'm scared for my life. I think Trisha Paytas is gonna kill me." And it's just a little back and forth. I think these are just two crazy personalities that are honestly so similar. It's just a never-ending cycle.
I think it's one narcissist fueling another narcissist. And come on, they both are into the YouTube of like making headlines, clickbait, getting views, making money. So it's like they're in a way kind of egging each other on, like, you make a video and then I'll make a video, and like inadvertently, subliminally saying that to each other. And I just went on her Twitter. So her pinned tweet is "Confessions of a Washed Up YouTube Has-Been." So it's like, okay, she's a little self-aware, but what we're trying to do, girl, is for you to take a break from YouTube and actually show us that you've improved and actually work on your relationship with your best friend off screen. And then 7 hours ago, she posted a part 2 reacting to Trisha's videos for the first time. It's like, girl, like, okay, you're obviously doing this for the views. And I feel like drama loves drama, so I can't. I'm like, I refuse to watch Gabby Hanna's videos, but you know what? I'm a little problematic. I might watch Trisha's, because I feel like Trisha, she does exaggerate and we can't fully trust her, but I feel like she gives off the correct message when it comes to drama. But then the Frenemies podcast, I don't know. I think I rather watch Trisha's.
It seems very one-sided when Gabby talks. And speaking of one-sided, the next Gabby Hanna drama was on the show Escape the Night. So she had a video called Escape the Nightmare, like I mentioned. And she talks about how there's no food for her on set, like she needs to eat healthy, there was no healthy food, and she was giving wrong times for to be on set or something, and things took longer than they needed to be, and like she would be in set for hours on end, like in full glam waiting, and no one was there to get her for anything or whatever. Okay, so she put out that, and then people were like, oh my god, like, I can't believe you experienced this. And she's like, yeah, I can't believe I experienced this, especially with someone who I thought was my friend, because those who produced the show were YouTubers Joey Graceffa and his partner at the time, Daniel Prada. Yeah, so, but after that video came out, Joey and Daniel, like, of course, are gonna respond because this is their baby, their project. And even, oh my god, I forgot her name, Rosanna Pensino. And she's like a YouTuber who bakes. Like, she's not problematic at all. She just bakes on YouTube, and she was on that show. And she even posted like a tweet going after everything that Gabby Hanna said, saying like, you didn't have the right outfits because you didn't come to 2 out of the 3 fittings. You didn't have had any healthy snacks that you wanted because you didn't fill out the health information that was given to you weeks before filming. Going off of like Joey and Daniel's videos, they had all these reasons for what happened. I'm like having too many thoughts and words right now because this is the info I've been consuming the past 24 hours. But oh yeah, and apparently Gabby called one of the producers a dumb on set, and like a lot of people heard her, and she blamed her ADHD for it. A lot of people were like, hey, don't blame your ADHD. Half the people on set have ADHD, half of the cast have ADHD, and they didn't come with bad behavior, you know? Like, she was using ADHD as her reason for her bad behavior, and she admitted to being a bitch on set. And it's hard to believe her case when you have like 5 other people backing up the producers and cast of the show. And that was a mouthful. And there's a lot more, but I'll stop.
Wow. See, this is why exactly I'm like, I cannot watch her. Like, I feel like I'm a very compassionate person, and I like can extend like an olive branch, an internet invisible olive branch to a lot of content creators and give them another chance, give them a second chance. But with Gabby Hanna, it's just like I have no desire to watch any of her videos. And her Twitter nickname is the common denominator. And June 28th, she tweets, so I hired a social media manager so that I would stay offline while the Sears was going up, and yesterday I broke my own rule. I'm a pretty defensive person because, well, I spent a lot of time on the defense. But I'm going to try my best to stick to my plan moving forward. And she said, it's still really challenging to not respond to every lie that comes my way. Oh my goodness. I'm like, girl, like, and then the tweet from June 27th, she's like, anyway, I appreciate if you watched my response to the years of bullying from Trisha, Daniel, Joey, Shane, and others from their circle of friends. It's that girl, like, if Joey was bullying you for years, why did you go on Escape the Night?
She's truly like definition of a narcissist, and she wants to play victim. She always wants to be the common denominator and everything. Like, she needs all eyes on her, all ears on her. I mean, people are giving her the attention, you know, people love the drama. I mean, I'm one of those people who's consuming it.
Speaking of drama, I remember she had drama with Rice Gum. Do you remember that one? She
Oh
was
my
the
god.
girl that claimed that Rice Gum like hit her with his phone or something, and then
He broke her phone or something.
yeah.
Like, smashed her phone, and like he made a rap. I don't know.
I think she was like, someone was like, okay, I'll pay you for the phone. And they're like, PayPal me. I was like, oh my God. And it's so interesting because they were at like a YouTuber's party and no cameras were allowed. And it's just like, oh my God, you guys are not celebrities. Like,
You
calm
guys
down.
thrive off of being online. So, and that's exactly what happens. She thrives off of drama. If there was no drama in her life, I think she would go crazy because she needs it.
I feel like when YouTubers get into a drama, I feel like the YouTubers that have longevity are the ones that never address drama or never get into it. Like I think of like Desi Perkins and her friends, like there's always drama within the makeup and beauty part of YouTube, but they never like side with anyone. They never make any comments about anyone except for Makeup Shayla. She had like beef with Jeffree Star, and that's the whole nother debacle. But Gabby, you want to like jump into everything.
I know. She needs better help.
I'll be damned if that was one of her sponsors too.
I know. But I mean, let's end on a good note. But Ariana Grande is working with BetterHelp to give away $1 million worth of free therapy.
We love her.
Yeah, so she's like offering. I read on the article is like a month free for people to use BetterHelp, and then after a month they could decide if they want to stop or continue therapy. So yeah, we love a queen who wants to help the people.
Yes, and I feel with Ariana Grande, like people don't realize what she's been through. Like she was in a public massive bombing. Like she has PTSD because she did like a CAT scan or MRI scan of her brain, and it's very similar to someone who has PTSD. And I'm like, of course she does. That event is so traumatizing, and I can't even imagine like how back then she must have felt so guilty because it's like her concert and people came to see her, and then something tragic happened, which totally was not her fault, but I can understand why she would feel guilty because it happens, it's human. So I'm like, we need to give her a little bit more compassion, like not because we're biased, but just in general. I feel like she's come such a long way, and like her happiness and how much she glows and like the way she interacts with her fans still is just like you wouldn't expect it, but she definitely like wanted to give more, even though like so much was taken from her and the families who lost their lives.
Yeah, I remember watching that concert after that bombing, and I was tearing up when she was tearing up. Is that all? Are we done with all our tiny sips?
Yes, that was all for now. I was like, oh my goodness, we have talked about so much. This episode is
A lot of little sip. So we're gonna do this little segment where we talk about who we're listening to, what we're watching, things that are just catching our eye right now, share what we're what we see, and hopefully you'll find interest in it too.
I've been listening to Doja Cat's new album, and my favorite two songs so far are the songs You Right featuring The Weeknd and I Don't Do Drugs featuring Ari. And I feel like it's because it's Ari I had to listen to it, and I like Ari's verse in it. And then the one with The Weeknd, the music video was just very like galactic space, also very inspired by like the Greek and Roman goddesses. So I love the visual. I think Doja Cat is like working her way up to be like an established pop star rapper.
Actually, yeah, I don't listen to her much, but when you said Ari, I'm like, oh, I need to listen to this.
Yeah, Ari kind of like raps a little bit in that version, and then Doja, I feel like she's really becoming like a stronger vocalist too. And you would think that because with Ari, like she's such a strong like vocalist that you think that Doja wouldn't be able to like match her, but then the harmonies it's a really really good song.
Lynn is more of a listener to music and such, but I listen to the same music over and over again. Oh, actually, I've been listening and loving Drama Queen's podcast. So, were you a One Tree Hill watcher?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I was, and Drama Queens is just the lead female characters, Sophia Bush, Bethany Joy Lance, and Hillary Burton, who played like the three lead women. And it's kind of, I think it's similar to The Office, how the one who played Pam Beasley and Angela, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, they have a podcast and they're going through the episodes. So it's the same thing with Drama Queens. For One Tree Hill, they're going through each episode. Like I just listened to the last episode where they go through episode 1 and they just kind of talk about the behind the scenes and all that stuff. So I've just been loving that because One Tree Hill, I think, is part of who I am today, honestly. I truly believe that. And yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
I need to get back on the podcast thing because I have just been listening to the new music. And I think One Tree Hill was on, but I was more of like the Smallville watcher. I was watching like King of the Hill, The Simpsons. So I was watching like the ridiculous stuff.
And I was listening to the drama. Me as like in high school with like, well, I don't even know if I was in high school. I don't know what grade. No, I was in middle school at the time. watching One Tree Hill and their like high school drama.
King of the Hill, The Simpsons, American Dad. I was really into the cartoons when I was younger, but I don't know. I think in high school I really developed like the celebrity things because I started listening to music and all the gossip. And anyways, I'm taking us off the rails.
Is there any other artists that you've been listening to? Or
uh,
anything
no,
you're
it was
watching?
just for the moment it's Doja Cat, and I even have the YouTube link for the 1 hour loop of her in the weekend. So I'm just
Yeah,
I
that's the song of the moment.
yes, like I'm that person. I can listen to a song the whole day and not get sick of it. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Girl, the same. That's why I'm still on Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, and Olivia Rodrigo right now, literally on loop. I actually have one more like recommendation, I guess, to watch, and that is the H3 interview with Bella Porch. So Bella Porch, she's the girl that with the song "Build a Bitch" that's been
Mhm.
playing like constantly everywhere. It won some kind of like recognition on YouTube. I forgot what it was, but yeah, Bella Porch, she like took off on TikTok, and she actually has a crazy ass story. Like it's kind of nuts. And like she grew up in the Philippines. She was like child labor basically in her own family. It's her. I don't even want to like talk too much about what happened because I definitely recommend the interview to watch the interview because you just learn so much about her and why she is the way she is. Like a lot of people would like be mad at her on TikTok because they feel like she doesn't have too much emotion and stuff, but she's had a really abusive past, and like it's something that she's working on and trying to be better at, like being a little more expressive and stuff, or talk a little bit more about her so people understand where she's coming from. But yes, definitely recommend that interview just because it's just nuts.
So I feel like I would like that because I love hearing about like people's histories and their past and their trauma. And it's kind of like a thing in the Philippines for children to be like very young stars, young models, young singers, young actresses, and then they support their family. Because I remember like I think one of the Miss Universe winners, she said that too. Like when she was young, she was like financially supporting the family because of the shows and the things that she was doing in the Philippines. And I actually haven't heard that song "Build a Bitch." Like I know it's very popular, but then I was like, I never wanted to click it, but now today I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna listen to it, and then at work tomorrow I'm gonna listen to the H3 podcast episode.
I'm surprised you ever heard. Well, maybe because I'm always on TikTok, so that song always comes up. But yeah.
Am I a bad celebrity gossip person because I do not have TikTok still? Like I'm scared to go on it. Like I might my screen time's gonna go from 11 hours to maybe 15.
Honestly, probably best to stay away. I'll sacrifice my time.
Let us know what you think about all the moments we talked about: Cardi B's pregnancy, Doja Cat's album, Lil Kim versus Nicki, Saweetie's Pretty Privilege, and Gabby Hanna's problematic personality.
See, we covered all. We cover the celeb headlines, YouTube headlines, and also our suggestions. Go listen to them.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.
For listening. Bye.
Bye.